Hey, football fans. Welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we all gather around and talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have a rumor and some updates to get into today, so let's just jump straight into the video. Starting off, we're talking about a trade rumor that's going on right now. I am sure you've heard of it if you've been on the internet. Micah Parsons, the pass rusher all-star from the Dallas Cowboys, don't know why that took me a second to say, requested a trade from the Cowboys on Friday, August 1st. He has not been participating in training camp due to stalled contract negotiations between the front office, and he's got some frustration with the team's handling of the situation overall. He wants a new contract that reflects the way he's been playing recently, as crazy as he's been, and he thinks the Cowboys hasn't really been taking it that seriously, and they won't find a deal that satisfies him right now. Parsons feels that the Cowboys don't prioritize his contract extension and they instead focus on players like Dak Prescott, CD Lamb instead, which, CD Lamb's great. Dak was injury prone though. I think Micah Parsons 100% deserves a contract extension. He was like a main reason last year that they weren't getting totally blown out by most teams. One potential landing spot for Parsons is, of course, Detroit. That's what we're talking about. They are in a position to win and currently looking for another pass rusher to help alongside Aiden Hutchinson. So it'd be an ideal place for someone like him to want to go, if you want to go win a Super Bowl and you want to be on a team that's almost there to do it and they just need that one piece left and you're that piece left, why not go and do it? But what's the issue here? Well, let's first talk about his stats and why we would like to have him on the team. So in 2024, last season, he had 43 combined tackles, 13 assisted, and 12 sacks. The year before that, he had 64 combined tackles, 28 were assisted, and 14 sacks. Also, keep in mind that last season he was injured from a section of the season, so that's still really good numbers. 2022, he had 65 combined tackles for 23 assisted and 13 and a half sacks. And in 2021, he had 84 combined tackles, 20 assisted for 13 sacks. So he's good for double digits on sacks every year. And with his age, he's only 26. I can see it only going up right now. He's getting to that prime, spot for where his player position really comes in handy. He's 6'3", he's 245 pounds, and he's just a dog. He's an animal. He's an absolute dog. But the real issue is, and the question that Lions fans are asking right now, can we even afford him? So due to salary cap constraints and the high cost of even acquiring him, even with our current cap space, the projected cost of a long-term deal for Parsons combined with the need to extend, other key players that we got going on would likely put the Lions salary cap over in the future coming years. Parsons is projected to command a contract extension exceeding $37.9 million annually, which would make him one of the highest paid edge rushers in the league, which I first of all think he absolutely deserves. But when the Lions also have players to play coming up like Aiden Hutchinson, who is going to be very due for a substantial contract extension coming up, because I think his rookie contract ends in 2026, it's going to be really, really hard to pay someone like that alongside with some of our other players like St. Brown, Hutch, JMO's going to want one soon. Sewell we paid, Goff we paid. Like, it's going to be a real issue of who are we going to keep? Who can we keep, right? So the Lions, I'd love to see him do it, but it's going to be really, really tough to make it happen. Another thing to keep in mind is that, Cowboys GM Jerry Jones also commented on Saturday saying that they have no intention of trading Parsons and, quote, fans have nothing to lose sleep over, end quote. So while I think it'd be cool, and his dad even thinks it'd be cool, he said that Detroit's his number 2 landing spot because, I don't know, I think same reasons. It's a good landing spot right now for a guy like him. He says him and Hutchinson together would, quote unquote, be cheating, which it would be. It would be absolutely crazy to see those two work together. I think the defense would just be moving on a whole nother level if we had someone like that alongside Hutch already. But it probably won't happen, Lions fans. And that's really unfortunate because I think everyone's like, "Ooh, let's grab him. Let's go grab him." But I don't think it's in the cards right now. And I don't think we need, not that we don't need him. We need him. Every team wants him, right? I just don't think it's really in the cards for us right now. Unfortunate. It'd be cool to have Micah Parsons be a Lion, but he's not. Let's just hope he doesn't go to Green Bay. because that is not something I'd like to see twice a year. Anyways, though, thank you for listening to that. We are going to get into our second topic of the day. We're talking about some injury updates. Again, I hate talking about these, but as long as there's going to be injuries, I'm going to update you guys on what's going on in the locker room. So Ennis Rakestraw just suffered another injury after kind of coming back to practice and getting more involved. He suffered a shoulder injury. There's no really table right now on when he's going to return or if he's questionable or anything like that, but he suffered another injury, which is not good for that depth. Dan Skipper is out with an ankle injury from the Hall of Fame game. He's going to be out for 1 or 2 weeks. I think Craig Reynolds accidentally stepped on his leg. Someone's accidentally stepped on his leg during a rush. They're saying it shouldn't be too bad. He'll be back for one of the preseason games, so not worried about that. And then Taylor Decker is actually slowly getting more involved in practices. They're getting him back into reps. He's feeling better with that shoulder injury. I'm excited to see him back in action because we need him at left tackle. Dan Skipper's great, but having your guy Decker, who you can rely on every single snap, is probably better to have. Terrion Arnold still out with that hamstring injury. And then safety Dan Jackson suffered an injury and is questionable to return to practice in the next week. His injury was not disclosed. He's one of our backup safeties, though. And again, having any depth we can at defense is going to be important going into the regular season. So I hope everyone gets healthy. Everyone comes back ready to go because we know we need them. And we discuss that every time we do injury updates, that we need these guys, right? They might not be starters, right? But they're important. There's a reason you have backups and there's a reason you have depth, because when you don't have depth and things all of a sudden a flip switches and things aren't going your way anymore, the next guy up, that next guy up mentality comes in clutch. Having that next guy up being ready to go and do his thing. It was a lot with like CMC last year in the 49ers, right? He got out and then they had a new guy come in and okay, he wasn't working out. We'll throw a new guy in. And then I remember the second guy that they threw in for him ended up having some good stats. He ended up doing pretty good in the last 2 games. So it's good to have those backups. You never know if they're going to have their breakout game or their breakout season with us. Just saying. But I hope that everyone gets healthy, and we're going to move on to our third topic of the day. We are talking about some of Detroit's highest rated players in Madden. So they're a little bit different than what we usually talk about on this channel. But I think it's definitely worth noting, right? Video game fans or just football fans in general, if you're curious about what the game developers over at EA think about our players, this is what we got. So Amon-Ra St. Brown is a 96 this year. Last year, he was a 95 overall, so a little bit of improvement there. He's also got an X factor on the team. Penei Sewell's a 96 overall, same as last year, just good old Penei Sewell, one being a dog at right tackle. Jahmyr Gibbs is a 95 overall. Last year, he was an 84, so taking an 11-point jump. Pretty good, and I think he absolutely showed why he deserves it in this last season. Aiden Hutchinson's a 93 overall. Last year, he was an 88. Hutch, another one of those guys with an X factor on our team. What else? Kirby Joseph, 90 overall. Last year, he was a 77. So this is probably the biggest jump out of everybody. He took a huge leap. And I think he absolutely deserves it. He's the interception leader. Some of his interceptions were kind of give-me's, but still, I think he absolutely showed why he deserves to have that jump. And he joined the 90 club, so congratulations, Kirby Joseph. Brian Branch is an 89 overall. Last year, he was an 85. Goff is an 87 overall. Last year, he was an 82, showing that, he's only getting better with our team. Decker, 87 overall. Last year, he was an 86, so a little bump to Taylor Decker as well. Laporta is 86. He was the same as last year. We didn't really see any crazy jumps from Laporta last year. His rookie year was really the one to look at. But he kind of stayed consistently great last year, and I think this year with the vertical passing, we're going to see a lot more of him than we did last year, and hopefully then his Madden ratings improve as well. And then finally, J-Mo, 82 overall. Last year, he was a 79. So got a good jump. He's been getting those reps in, and I think, like I said, same thing with Laporta. He's just going to show why he's even better this year with the new scheme, and he's going to jump too, I guarantee it. Something to note with J-Mo is he's also got a 98 speed stat. So I already know players are going to lose their minds over that nonsense. So summarize it. Everyone's improved. Almost everyone has improved. This team is going to make a lot of players upset to play against, especially with a 95 speed running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, and a 98 speed wideout in Jameson Williams. I guarantee you people are going to spam those players and just abuse the speed stats. That was already a big thing in this last game. Just J-Mo, just throw it down on him on a streak route and he's down there somewhere mentality. And now that Gibbs has a 95 speed stat and his change of direction is super high as well, I'm not too sure on the exact stat. He's going to be another one of those players where screen passes, run pass plays. It's gonna be a disaster for everybody playing the Lions this year. But that's what I like to see. As long as it's my team, I don't mind that much. So, alrighty, what do you guys think about these overalls? Are we in agreement? Do you think someone should be a little higher? Do you think some guys should be a little lower? Let me know in the comments down below. And we're gonna move on to our fourth and final topic of the day. I promise you guys, this is the last time we're talking about it. We've talked about it a few times in the past couple weeks, but we have some final takeaways after watching the Hall of Fame game against the Chargers. So, Lions lost pretty substantially, only scored one touchdown. Chargers just were in command this game, and that's okay. Maybe I feel like the Chargers are smurfing a little bit, but it's all good. We're going to take it, learn from this, and also take this segment a little semi-seriously just because it's only a preseason game. So some of the things I'm going to say are going to sound like, well, don't worry about it. It's backups. And I realize that they're backups. So let's talk about it real quick. We started the game with a fumble on the kickoff return by special teams linebacker Grant Stewart, because of course we did. That's Lions football, baby. Something, something goes right for so long, you got to balance it out a little bit. But on the other hand, rookie receiver Isaac Tesla made a very quick impact in this game, and he was fun to watch. He had back-to-back catches of 24 and 22 yards to, give the offense a little life after a slow start in the game, and he was fun. Like, he was quick. That was the one thing I wasn't sure of with his size and, this contested catching ability. He's quick. His run after the catch was like, oh, okay. Heck yeah. Like, awesome to see. The other rookie receiver, Dominic Levet, had a drop right away, and that kind of made me roll my eyes. But then he came back later and had a really good slant route catch where the cornerback hitting him as he caught it. So good contested catch for him, good hands. I was a little worried at first with that drop, but he made up for it right away. And I think something to note as well is that Tesla's been a really friendly target for Lions quarterbacks in the first couple of weeks for camps, and it's just showing that he's got all this very, very high ceiling, and I think we're just going to continue to see him rock and roll. Cornerback Rock Ya-Sin, running back Craig Reynolds, and Stewart, and a defensive lineman Pat O'Connor got the opportunity to play early and showed them making plays, actually. It's good to see early on because at some point it is likely we are going to need to call on them for some help, and play some important reps. I'm happy that they're making plays now because I was really unsure. I think I talked about it in one of the previous videos. Guys like Rock Ya-Sin, if they were going to be able to have that next guy up mentality and really do what we need him to do if he gets called upon. And it was showing that he was out there playing his hardest and he was making plays. We still got scored on a whole bunch, but he was doing his thing, and I wasn't too upset with what I saw. It wasn't really a productive night for the pass rushing group, however. They didn't record a sack or a quarterback hit in the whole game, so we're still figuring out the pecking order behind Davenport and Hutch. That's totally fine. I think we can keep waiting, especially when there's all these rumors of other guys we're picking up anyways. And I thought Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker were just meh. They did a few good things, but the 3 turnovers between them, and one of them being a pick 6 from Kyle Allen, that's just too many mistakes. There were a couple of off throws from both players as well, just not hitting their marks. And I expected Kyle Allen to be all right at worst, and they showed he just wasn't the guy yet, right? A lot of you in the comments were thinking he's going to be the guy. A lot of you were thinking, like, he's got this previous experience, he's going to be fine. And the training camp footage all showed that he was going to be fine. And I just don't think he's ready to be the guy yet. Hooker will likely remain the backup quarterback, and I guess that doesn't make me too mad. But again, I'm not confident that he's going to be a guy who can step up and do what we need him to do in a regular season NFL game. We also got our first look at the NFL's new virtual measurement system for first downs, which allows the NFL to accurately measure the distance between the spotted ball and the line to gain without having to bring out the chains. So it seems to have worked on Thursday, and hopefully in the regular season we'll keep the game flow moving and not take any lengthy measurement timeouts, which we all dread. Surely the Chiefs won't get some crazy call turning, pace of game changing call with this new system where they're like, oh, 1 or 2 pixels are off. The turnover on downs, or the Chiefs get a first down, when like we know it wasn't. I'm surely they don't get bailed out by this new system. I'm just saying, jokes, jokes, of course, right? But that's what I had to say. That's what I had to say about that game. It wasn't too fun to watch if you're a Lions fan, but it was a good kind of representation of what some of our newer guys and what some of our backup guys are going to look like for the next preseason games and for the regular season as well. But with that being said, we are out of time today. Thank you so much for watching Lions Latest. If you made it to this point of the video, let me know what you guys thought about the Hall of Fame game and what were your takeaways. Also, injury updates. Let me know what you guys think. Is Ennis Rakestraw going to be injury prone, or is he going to be fine for the season? We don't have anything to worry about. But with that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss a video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.